Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss important quotation from rep of the log which are important from exam point of view. I already have make a video on Canto 1 and 2 chords, and now in this video I am going to discuss Canto 3, 4 and 5 important chords which are important to be discussed. So let's get begin. Behold, for kings in majesties referred with hoary whiskers and forky beard, and for fair queens whose hands sustain a flower, expressive emblem of their softer power. For knaves in garbs succinct a trusty band, caps on their heads and halberds in their hand, and petty-coloured troops a shining train draw forth to combat on velvet plain. So in this quotation, the main character involved is Belinda and the Baron. An important theme is triviality of court life, and related symbol is game of ombre. So analysis goes like this: Belinda. She's playing the game of ombre, the card game, and game of ombre with Baron and another gentleman, and so Pop chose to narrate the game as if the cards were real noble figures, king and queens, and game itself as a real battle as takes place in classical epics. Compare it with classical epics to highlight that how trivial this is. And again, humorously, he illustrates the silliness of court life, and Belinda's and her companions take the game rather too seriously. Actually, it is not, and Belinda's travel down to Thames, the river in Hampton Court, and it's a kind of parody for the epic sea voyages, and once again it highlights the triviality of court life in the poem by contrasting it with the weighty struggles of epical poetry. Another important quotation: just in that instant anxious Ariel saw the closer recess of virgin thoughts, as on nosque in her breast decline. He fetched the ideas rising in her mind. Suddenly he weaved in spite of all her art, an earthly lover lurking at her heart. Amazed, confused, he found his power expire, resigned to fate, and with a sigh retire. So here, characters are Baron, Palenta, and guarding spirit Ariel. An important theme is gender roles, morality, and faith. Explanation goes like this: Ariel now gained access to Belinda's thought and found that an earthly lover lurking or reside in her heart. So the Ariel is the one who protect the those who are virgin and chastity, but here he finds and lover, so he no longer thought that she is justice or virgin protect because she is fair and chastity, and he is now resigned to fate to give up on protecting her. Ariel feels like Belinda is already no longer chastity and deserve to be violated, and then extremely harsh restriction on female sexuality. In these words he again illustrate pop, and also again illustrate the slipperiness of the self as well. And we'll see another quotation: the pair now separates the glittering forefux wide to enclose the lock, now joins it to divide. Even then, before the fatal engine close, outraged self to fondly interpose. Fate undergoes the shears and cut the self in twain, but the airy substance unite again. The meeting point, the sacred hair deceiver from the fair head to ever and forever. So characters Ariel, Belinda, Baron, themes triviality of God, life, morality, and religion as well. So this suggests the ultimate silliness of the whole affair, referring to scissors as fatal engines, and give emphasis on the importance of steel, how steel is able to do great things, and but there is substance too. Once again, it unites self. It is an angel self, a spirit which can never be. It's immortal, and recalls the moment in book 6 of Milton's Christian epic, and in which Satan is stabbed with the sword in battle against angels in Paradise Lost. And this links the self with the character of Satan, which is similar to Ariel is linked with Satan due because devilish nature of Satan seems to be her Belinda's ear, finding lips to lay and close to her ears of Eve as Satan go devilish are to reach. That's why it has been compared with that. And now we'll see Canto four chords. Hair stood ill nature like ancient maid, her wrinkled form in black and white array with store of prayers for morning, night, and noons. Her hand is filled with bosoms with lamphons. Character Belinda, Queen of Spleen and Umbrella, and important theme is gender roles there. Umbrella descends to the subterranean cave of Spleen and where Queen of Spleen ruled, a parody of epic trope of the hero's journey into a underworld. Compare with that, and strange creatures are there. Spleen, which at that time considered a force that in pops they believed to be cause of female bodily dysfunction, causing melancholy, depression like that, and hysteria. And many critics have chosen to interpret the cave of Spleen as kind of dark mirror of the surface world of God life, and spleen inhibits represents a kind of glovely Voyagian society female outcast, and this emphasized the paradoxical standards set for women in pop's world. Belinda is praised by the self and society as a whole for her youth and her spotless reputation for chastity, and her beauty is greatly admired. And their affection with silky mane shows in her cheek the rouses of a teen practice to lisp and hang the head aside, fend into airs, languish with pride. On the rich quilt sings with becoming vow, wrap in gown for sickness and for show. So here you can see the characters Belinda, Queen of Spleen and Umbrella involve the theme same gender roles, and here at the Cave of Spleen there are two characters associated with the Queen of Spleen, ill nature and affectation, and the journey is a comic version of epic convention of hero's journey to underworld, such as Annie's descendants to underworld in Aeneid Virgil's Aeneid. And the cave of spleen is thus the raw read as a kind of hell of female bodily function, and affectation serves as a humorously grim portrayal of society. Belly hair refers to Belinda gone too far, which mocks the absurdity of fashionable female behavior at that time. Hair pop seems to be suggesting once again that the role of a society belly like Belinda is difficult ones to play, as it is to spill over into absurd attempts to appear feminine. Another important chord here, living this sports stand, one arm held out, one bent, the handle this and that spout, a pipkin there that Homer's tripod works. Here size a jar and here a goose by dog, men prove with children powerful fancy works, and mates turn bottles call loud for cocks, save past the norm through the fantastical band, a branch of feeling spleen word in his hand. Then they address poor hell war at queen who ruled the sex to 50 from 15, parents of weepers and female wit who give the historic or poetic fit. The speaker is Umbrel, a spirit, Belinda, and Queen of Spleen, and the themes gender roles and morality and faith. The Umbrel, the spirit, journeys through the cave of Spleen, and then he receives a gift from Queen of Spleen, a kind of collection. This plays a Queen a cave of Spleen. It's a collection of outcasts from the world above, and women bodies are literally transformed into objects associated with ladylike behavior, such as living sports, and men proof with children means they are pregnant, and may turn into bottles and grotesque image of female lust, and branch of healing spleen wards, a kind of plant which believed to counter the effects of spleen, and one conference woman. So this queen of spleen, she comes women from 15 to 50, the woman, the age at which women menstruate or their body functions, they are attractive. And embryo represents an internal force of female body, and the poem can really support any moral judgment of human behavior, since humans seems to have little control over their fate. Another quotation, a wondrous bag with both her hands she binds like that where once your laces held the winds. There she collects the force of female lungs, sighs, sob, patience, and war of tongues, a vial. Next she fills with fainting fears of sorrows, melting grief, and flowing tears. The gnome rejoices, bears her gift away, spread his black wings, and slowly mounts to day. Sink in Thalestris' arm the nymph found, her eyes dejected, her hair unbound. Full for their heads the swelling back he rent, and all the furies issue at the vent. Belinda's burned with more than mortal ire, and fierce Thalestris fangs the rising fire. So here characters involved are Thalestris, Belinda, Queen of Spleen, and Umbrail. Theme is religion and morality. Symbol is lock. So Umbrella here acquires a wondrous bag and vial from Queen of Spleen, and he tries to worsen the situation, and at that request the queen fills the bag with all kind of female despair, sighs, sobs, patience, war of tongues, and vial which contains soft sorrows, melting griefs, and flowing tears. And then Umbrellas arrive back at the festival, and he just worsened this situation by pouring those gifts our Belinda and Thelestrius, which worsened this situation, which angered them more, and a battle or a kind of battle started between them, and they stressed that the world it is impossible to tell what extent someone is acting according to their free will, and to some it means that moral judgment become increasingly fraught and challenging. And now we'll analyze Canto 5 chords. But Fate and Jove had stopped the Baron's ear in when Thalestris with reproach Azazel, for who can move when fair Belinda's fell? Not half so fixed the Trojan could remain, while Anna begged and Dido again well. Character involves Belinda, Thalestris, and Baron. Themes are triviality of court life, the religion and morality, and symbol involved is the log. Belinda pleading with Byron to return her stolen lock, which has been cut by Byron, and now it has allusion to Virgil's epic The Aeneid, in which the Trojan hero Aeneas is called on by Jupiter, Jove, god of Jupiter, Jove, and live with lover Dido and sail away to found the Rome. So, as Dido, it has been compared that as Dido requested Anis to stay for her, but he refused. Here, the same the Belinda request to return the log, but Baron refused. Baron takes on role of Anis, and Thalestris become Anna, and Belinda become Dido. And this in turn make it difficult to judge who's the mortals for their actions. Actually, their actions has been controlled by the sylphs or the spirits, you can say. In comparison with barons and Belinda remind the reader that they are not totally responsible for their actions. Beauties in vain their pretty eyes may roll, charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul. Oh, my favorite line. So spoke the dame, and no applause ensued. Belinda's from Thalestris called her prude. This is very important quotation from Rap of the Log, and you can say that this is the whole crux of the Rap of the Log. This is from the Clarissa's speech, which is very important. Clarissa is speaker, Thalestrius, Belinda, whom she addressed, and other court people, and themes involve beauty and gender roles, symbol, log. So analysis go like that. In Clarissa's speech, she told that how trivial and important it is to emphasize on the importance of beauty. Beauty has no importance at all, and why you are she addressed to Belinda said that why you are lamenting on losing of your hair. It's just a hair. It's just a hair. It has no importance. It is temporary. It go white with age. You cannot. It's inevitable. You cannot escape that. And instead of lamenting on that, you must focus on your morality, your intellectual being, and good humor. That's what matter actually. So here charm strike the eyes, which means that the charm beauty which attracts only eyes, but morality, wit wins the soul, which means the morality wins the soul. Yes, actually this happens. And that the fact that no one seems to be much care, and not inspired by her speech, and Belinda's prawn and Thalestris called her prude. Sorry. So women once were considered the intellectual and moral inferior of men, celebrating most of their beauty. Here, Clarissa neatly subverts this idea, demonstrating to the readers, if not to that of listener. And another important quotation is all sat in parties and began the attack, fan flaps, silks rustle, and tough whalebones crack. Heroes and heroines shout confusedly, rise and buzz and tremble, voice strike the skies. No common weapons in their hands are found, like gods they fight, not dread mortal bound. So when bold Homa makes the god engage, and heavenly breast with human patient rage, Can's Pallas, Mars, Latona, Hermes arms, and Olympus rings with loud alarms. So related characters are Clarissa, Baron, Thalestris, and Belinda. Important theme is triviality of God life. Symbol again, Locke. So the courtly battle started between them, Belinda and Lord Baron, Belinda and Thalestris having scoffed at Clarissa's speech and again draws out the silliness of the world at court life and its values by invoking a comparison with the battles of classical epics. And the struggles depicted in this epic involves huge clashes between gods. You know the real battle between gods, Pallas, Mars, Latona, Hermes. Whereas this battle of words between Baron and Belinda, it's a trivial thing, not important. And most ominous sounds of battle here are claps of fans and rustles of silks. And this juxtaposition between intensity of epical battle and frivolity of godly life. So this expressed triviality of god life. Another important quotation is when those fair suns shall set, set they must, and all these tresses shall be laid in dust. This log the muse shall consecrate to fame and miss the stars inscribe Belinda's name. This is again very important quotation and related characters are Clarissa and Belinda. Theme is beauty, symbol, log. So after Belinda's lock has mysteriously disappeared, become a constellation, a star in the heaven, in the sky, it become a constellation. Belinda's and the god interest in her lock are morally wrong, and it's suggested by Clarissa. And we'll see that beauty gives her power over men who otherwise would seek to control her. So Locke's fantastical ascension to heaven, Pope acknowledged that much beauty is indeed ultimately transient as fair sun, and this Belinda's Locke is very special indeed, and it shall be celebrated by Muse, goddess of poetry and art, and this will mean that Belinda's name shall live forever. She become eternal, and she must be remembered in poetry, and her log become immortal as a star, and poetic beauty has been praised there by inspiring poetry like his own beauty can in this will live forever. So this is all. Hope you understand. Notes are in the description. If you have queries, ask me in comments or follow my page. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.